Today I'll be reviewing the Star Wars novel Darksaber by Kevin J. Anderson. I'll be reviewing and discussing the things I find interesting. When it comes to reviewing books, there are many ways to do it, and in my previous book reviews, I talked about the entire book from memory or from looking at my notes. I think this is quite silly as it spoils lots of things, and a review should be about discussing key information. So going forward, I'm going to try and step away from spoilers and talk about key points. So let's begin. Darksaber takes place 8 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, and it is considered by some the bridge between the Jedi Academy trilogy and the Hand of Thrawn. The story in a nutshell is a story about our main original trilogy heroes, who discover a new threat to the galaxy in the shape of another super weapon. Luke and Han follow up a rumour that takes them to Tatooine, disguised as Tusken Raiders to Jabba's derelict palace. They discover that the Hutts have Imperial and Rebel information through the use of spies and their criminal contacts. Han and Luke learn that the Hutt crime lord Durga is in control of a new superweapon called the Darksaber. And, to make matters worse, amongst Imperial infighting, two deadly enemies unite, Admiral Daela and Pellaeon, as they plan to finally attack the New Republic. I'll discuss in order some key details that I found interesting. First up is Beevil Limlisk. He's working for the Hutt Durga, the designer of the Death Star. He remembers when the first Death Star was destroyed and how he was tortured by the Emperor, who killed him and cloned his body and transferred his soul so he could try better next time. A really cool and weird bit in the novel that was just really crazy. Leia negotiates later with Durga the Hutt, who uses his pet-like species to infiltrate information for his own gain. Luke later on announces his Jedi candidates at the Jedi Academy, his Jedi Knights, and says that they might find their own pathway, and the Jedi have agreed to separate for the time being and act as guardians to different planets and follow the Force, which is a big deal in my opinion and really cool. Dorsk 81 and Kip are going to Dorsk's clone planet, while Daela is hiding in the core systems with 12 newly constructed Star Destroyers, while the other warlords battle amongst themselves. Pellaeon joins Admiral Daela, and they have a meeting with the other warlords to discuss the fate of the Empire and to attack the rebels instead of themselves. And R2 and 3PO discover that the Death Star plans have been stolen again. And there are some absolutely amazing use of imagery, and the way Kevin J. Anderson writes space battles and Imperial plotting is absolutely brilliant. I reckon Timothy Zahn and Kevin J. Anderson really know how to write Star Wars. The whole Callista involvement is uninteresting to me, and the idea of a Jedi from the Clone Wars in someone else's dead body that is in love with Luke, and Luke loving her back, is just really icky and gross, and kinda weird, and especially considering she is way older. She's also sort of pointless because she doesn't have the Force, and she just follows Luke around. And Mara Jade seems jealous of their relationship, which is probably good since they do get together eventually. And I won't spoil the outcome of Admiral Daela's and Pellaeon's attempt to sway the Imperial warlords, but the meeting with them doesn't go well, and it is known as the Imperial Reunification, and it's such a horrific and awesome scene, accompanied by cool artwork in the essential Reader's Companion. Daela and Pellaeon successfully get more Imperial might, such as the Imperial Super Star Destroyer. It's interesting reading this era, as for a long time we were reading about a small band of rebels against the might of the Galactic Empire that is everywhere. Now we are reading about a small band of struggling Imperials against the might of the New Republic. I find this really cool. However, there are some cringe moments that doesn't make the book bad, and these are that Luke seeing the one-armed Wampa from Empire Strikes Back again, which is cool, it's just a bit odd. There are other fantastic moments in this book, such as Cam Solazar using the Force to bend turbo tank cannons onto itself, convincing the gunners to shoot using the Force, and blowing up the whole thing. It's really awesome. As well as R2 shutting the hangar door onto an AT-ST and crushing it completely. One of the best moments in this book happens on chapter 46, and it will be a spoiler, but I just have to mention it is mind-blowing. 17 Star Destroyers attack Yavin 4, and Dorsk 81 and the other 30 Jedi join together their Force powers to push the Star Destroyers away from the planet, Starkiller style. It is a scene that is absolutely mind-blowing and incredible in the book, why isn't anyone talking about this? It's insane. All these Jedi and Jedi Knights, they succeed, however they lose one student, and I won't say who, it is a spoiler. They succeed, but lose a student, so the victory is so devastatingly sad, but the outcome is incredible. In the end, size matters not, and I can only just imagine prequel era Jedi doing this. The best part in the book, perhaps. So these are just a few awesome moments in the book, but I do not want to spoil the entire plot. My final thoughts on this book is that, for the most part, it's actually amazing. It's epic. 9 out of 10, I reckon. It's quite decent. The only thing holding it back would be the Callista stuff, and the Hoth stuff with the Wampas. It isn't that bad, it's just a bit weird and unnecessary. It's interesting to note that even aliens and females are now part of the new Imperial way going forward, which kind of has connections to the future Empire and the Legacy comics. Tension, suspense, and action is used so well in this book, especially in regards to Kip and Dorsk 81 and how they discover Dayla's hidden fleet in the galactic core. And of course, their force powers on Yavin 4 is just so cool. So many cool moments with Leemisk and how he remembers the first Death Star being made, and of course Akbar being Tarkin's slave. This book is a big deal in the current timeline, and huge incidents occur that have consequences in future novels. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in another review, and it might be The Hand of Thrawn.